Hi guys, this is Ms.Hong. Today is April 21st. So we have new process. So we call that learn day and do day. So today is the learn day. So you need to learn something today, but you don't have to submit any work. So we are giving you more time. And then tomorrow you will complete the work for today's lesson, and then you will submit the work for tomorrow. So tomorrow will be due day. All right, you do something, and today you learn something. So like for today, you need to watch entire video, and in the middle of the video suddenly I'm gonna say something about my daughter, and then that'll be the quiz for the lesson. All right, so I just want to check you watch the video or not. Okay, all right, so look at this one, guys. So eventually I want you to factor quadratic expression, but this is, so we started from the step by step. All right, so first of all, let's look at this term. So it's called factor, right? Factors. So factor means like this, we call this is a factor. And then look at this one, guys. Numbers have factors, right? So 6, when you break it into two different numbers, then that could be 2 times by 3, right? Then in this case we can say it, 2 is a factor of 6, 3 is a factor of 6, like that. So that's a factor. All right, or even the expressions, right? Expressions also have factors. So you have this 2 parentheses, and then when you FOIL you will get this one, right? So this parenthesis, the one thing, this parenthesis, that is a factor of that expression. This is a factor of that expression. So factors, like if you have anything, if you can express the thing with multiplication 2 or more, then that could be your factor. All right, so these are your factors, and that's the number. All right, so when you multiply this 2, you will get this one. When you break it down, you will get factors. All right, so we will find the common factors. And and before that, guys, I attach a table called factor table. So 1 through 100, I put all the numbers here. So for example, if I see 36, look at this one, guys. If I see 36, then you will see all the factors of 36. So 36, you can break it into 1 and 36, right? Or 2 times by 18, then you get 36. 3 times by 12, then you get 36. 4 times by 9, then you get 36. 6 times by 6, then you get 36. So it's like all different combinations of the number. And after you complete this table, 36 table, factor table, then all these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, 36, these are your factors of 36. Okay, so 36 has how many factors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 factors. Because I didn't count 6 twice, because 6 is same 6, so I just count it once. So you have 9 factors of 36, and they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 13. All right, so these are the factors, and you can use this factor table. All right, so I put all the numbers until 100, 1 through 100. So use this factor table. And look at this one, guys. So common factor. So we need to find a common factor, because look, today's title, what? Factoring GCF, right? So GCF, that represents greatest common factor. So before we do the greatest common factor, we need to know what is common factor. So look at this. Common factor, that is what? A factor of 2 or more numbers. So look at this one. Factors of 12 and 30. So factors of 12. So you found factors of 12. So we can also go to the factor table here. So you go to 12, then you see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, right? So look, I already wrote it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So these are the factors of 12. right? And then we need to get the factors of 30. So factors of 30. And when you find the factors of 30, go to the factor table and then you will see it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. Those numbers are factors of 30. Alright? So guys, if you don't want to use the factor table, then you can make it. So this is too thick. You can make it like this, like 30. And you can make your own table. 1 times by 30. Like this. You just like go by the number. So 1 and next number 2. Then 2 and what? 2 and 15 makes 30, right? And 3 and what? 3 and 10 makes 30. 4 does not go into 30, right? So we cannot divide it by 4. So 4 skip. And 5, then what? 5 times by 6, right? And then 6, then what? 6 and 5. So you see it? It's the same number, so you don't have to write this one twice. So 5. And when you complete this table, then you will see 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, 30. Those are the factors of 30, right? And then look, we will find the common factor. So common means you have the same number at the same time. So look, 1 is common, 2 is common, 3 is common, and 4 no, 5 no, but you see 6 is common, and that's it, right? So 1, 2, 3, and 6, they are common. So we call 1, 2, 3, and 6, these are common factors, right? Then what is greatest common factor? Largest of the common factors. So look, 1, 2, 3, and 6, the largest numbers, 6, right? So your greatest common factor will be 6. All right? So we will use the greatest common factor to factor something. All right? And then look at this, factoring. So factoring means finding what to multiply together to get an expression. So look at this one, guys. So if you have 2y plus 6, you already know how to expand. You know how to expand, right? You know how to expand it, or you know how to multiply. Right? You know how to multiply. Because you know, like this, 2 times by y, then you get 2y. 2 times by 3, then you get 6. So you know how to get this one going backward. But that's factor. So we call this is the factor. Alright? So like, you know, when you learn the number, first you learned about how to multiply, and after that you learned about how to divide. So factoring is kind of dividing. Alright? So we are finding two things. When you multiply it together, then you get the same thing. So look at this one, guys. Factor 2y plus 6. So if I want to factor this, then you need to break down the terms. So first, we did the 2y here, right? So 2y, that means 2 times by y. Just break it down. 2y means 2 times by y, right? And then 6. So when you break down 6, then that is, we can make it 2 times by 3. And that could be also like 1 times by 6, that's fine. But we want to find the common factor, right? So I just use the same number, 2 times by 3. Then do you see it? This is the common. Your common factors, 2. Because 2y has 2 and 6 has 2, right? So we can factor by GC. So in this case, 2 is the GCF. So 2y plus 6, then you write 2 in front and make a parentheses. And think about it. How can I get y? So your factor is 2y. You take out 2, right? So your leftover will be y. So you just put y inside. And then from 6, that was 2 times by 3. You take out 2 outside, right? So your leftover, which is 3, that's inside. And then you just follow the sign. That was plus, then you put plus. If that was minus, then you put minus. So finally, we want to do this kind of work. All right? So I'm going to show you more examples, and then you will do your homework tomorrow. All right? So look at this, guys. Guided practice. Find the GCF of the numbers. So 12 and 18, right? So 12 and 18. Then I'm gonna use my factor table. So 12 and 18. So go to the factor table. So look, 12 and 18. That was my number, right? So 12 and 18. Let me erase this one. Okay, so 12 and 18. And think about it. Look at this, guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18. Then what is the common number? Do you have 1? Let's check one by one. Do you have 1? Yes, I have 1. Do you have 2? Yes. 3? Yes. 4? No. 6? Yes. Then what is the greatest number? 6, right? So your greatest common factor is 6. So I'm gonna answer that. My GCF of 12 and 18 is 6. That's it. And 8 and 30. Then what? You go to the factor table. 8 and 30. So 8 and 30. So my number 8 and 30. So let's compare the numbers here. Do you have 1, 2? Yes, I have 1, 2. Do you have 4? No. Do you have 8? No. So what? Only your greatest common factor will be 2, right? Because your common factor is only 1 and 2. Right? Okay, so my answer is 2 for this. And 16, 24, 64. So this time you have 3 different numbers, right? So go to the factor table. What was the number? 16, 24, 64. 16, 24, and 64, right? So we are checking these 3 numbers. So 16, 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, and 1, 2, 4. So those numbers are common, right? And let's see. Do you have 8? Yeah. All numbers have 8 for the common factor, right? And then what about 16? This 2 has 16, but 24 does not have 16, right? So greatest common factor will be 8. Alright, so that's the biggest number in common. So you answer this one, 8. Alright? And so we need to factor this. Guys, you know what? I'm gonna cut the video and I'll be back. Alright?